So next question, with reference to Government of India Act 1919, consider the following statements. तो यहाँ पर आंसर क्या होगा? फर्स्ट ऑफ क्वेश्चन देखिए, फर्स्ट ऑप्शन, इट प्रोवाइडेड गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया एक्ट 1990 प्रोवाइड सेपरेट electorates for Anglo Indians and Europeans. So it's correct. It provided separate electorates for Anglo Indians and Europeans. And second, it introduced direct elections in India. So it's correct. So both are correct. And now in explanation. So Government of India Act 1919 provides separate electorate for Sikkim Indian Christians, Anglo Indians, Europeans, and the Muslims. It was provided by the Government of India Act 1909 by Lord Minto, who come to be known as the father of the communal electorates. Statement 2 is the correct. Government of India Act 1919 also introduced the first time bicameralism and direct election to the country. Next, with reference to the president rule, consider the following statements. So it is imposed only when a state fails to comply with a direction from the court. It's not correct. And it can be extended to a maximum period of 1 year, and with parliamentary approval. It can be extended to a maximum period of 1 year with parliamentary approval. So it's not correct. So यहाँ पर ऑप्शन होगा नाइदर 1 and 2. देखिए, statement 1 is not correct. The president rule can be proclaimed under Article 356 on two grounds. One mentioned in Article 356 itself, and another in Article 365. Article 356 empowers the president to issue a proclamation. The president to issue proclamation if he is satisfied that a situation has arisen in which the government of a state cannot be carried. The Article 356 empowers the president to issue proclamation if he is satisfied that a situation has arisen in which the government of a state cannot be carried on it in accordance with the provision of the Constitution. Notably, the president can act either on a report of the governor of the state or otherwise through. Article 365 says that whenever a state fails to comply with or give effect to any direction from the center, it will be lawful for the president to hold that a situation has arisen in which the government of the state cannot be carried on in accordance with the provision of the Constitution. Article 365 says that whenever a state fails to comply with or to give to any direction from the state center, it will be lawful to the president to hold that a situation has arisen in which the government of the state cannot be carried on in accordance with the separate provision of the Constitution. Statement 2 is not correct. It can be extended for a maximum period of 3 years with the approval of the President Parliament every 6 months. So yeah, it can be extended to a maximum period of 1 year and with the parliamentary approval. So it can be extended for a maximum period of 3 years with the approval of the parliament. Every not 1 year, it is approval by the parliament of 3 years for a maximum of 3 years and every 6 months. 13. Next question. Which of the following gives effect to the objective of the preamble to secure for all its citizens equality, liberty and justice? So which of the following gives effect to the objective of the preamble to secure for all its citizens equality, liberty and justice? So fundamental rights is not correct, I think. No, it's correct. So which of the following gives effect to objective of the preamble to secure all citizens, equality, liberty, and justice. So it is fundamental rights, not duties. Fundamental rights, मौलिक अधिकार, and not DPSP, not others. So यहाँ पर ऑप्शन होगा ए. देखिए, in India, like the most of the democratic of the world, the rights mentioned in the constitution, some rights which are fundamental in our life are given in special status. They are called fundamental rights. The preamble to our constitution talks about the securing for all its citizens equality, liberty, and justice. Fundamental rights put this promise into effect. They are an important basic feature of the India's constitution. So, next question. Indian Constitution employs the expression proclamation of emergency to denote national emergency only. So, proclamation of emergency, Indian Constitution employ. यहाँ पर देखिए, proclamation of emergency means national emergency only, not president rule, not financial emergency only, not national emergency and president rule. Not correct. So, यहाँ पर national emergency only, not president rule. So, A is the correct. So, यहाँ पर देखिए, Article 352 14. Article 352 Proclamation of Emergency. The Constitution employs the expression of proclamation of emergency, not the national emergency only, national emergency only due to the war or external aggression and armed rebellion. An emergency due to a failure of the constitutional machinery of the states. Article 356. This is popularly known as President rule. It is also known by other two names: state emergency or constitutional emergency. An emergency due to failure of the constitutional machinery in the state. Article 356. This is constitutional emergency. This is popularly known as president rule. It is also known by other two names: state emergency or constitutional emergency. However, the constitution does not use the word emergency for this situation. So, financial emergency is proclaimed under Article 360 due to the threat of the financial stability or credit of the India. Next question. The Government of India Act 1935 provided for the establishment of All India Federation and All India Federation. It's correct. And diarchy in the provinces. It is not correct. And Reserve Bank of India. It's correct. So, Government of India Act 1935 provided the All India Federation and the Reserve Bank of India. So, 1 and 3 are correct. So, B is the correct. The features of the Government of India Act 1935 were it provided for the establishment of the All India Federation consisting of provinces and princely states at units. However, the federation never come into being as the principal princely states and did not join it. The statement 1 is correct. Second, it abolishes diarchy in the province and introduced provincial autonomy in the place. Statement 2 is not correct. And it abolished diarchy in the province and it introduced provincial autonomy. So 2 is not correct. Next, it provided for the adoption of diarchy of the center, etc. And consequently, the federal subjects were divided into reserve subject and transferred subject. It provided for the adoption of the diarchy of the standard, and consequently the federal subjects are divided into reserve subject and transferred subject. However, this provision of the Act also did not come into operation. It provided for the establishment of the Reserve Bank of India to control the currency and carry of the currency. Hence, statement 3 is correct. It provided for the establishment of a Federal Public Service Commission and Provincial Public Service Commission and Joint Public Service Commission for 2 or more provinces. It provided for the establishment of a federal court which was set up in 1935-7. एंड सो यहाँ पर आपने देखा इट प्रोवाइड करेगा, एस्टेब्लिश करेगा फेडरल कोर्ट का विद सेटअप इन 1937 एंड इट प्रोवाइडेड फॉर द एस्टेब्लिशमेंट करेगा ए फेडरल पब्लिक सर्विस कमीशन and also provide provincial or to public service commission and joint public service commission and for two or more provinces. Next question. Consider the following statement regarding the Attorney General of India. The Constitution provides a fixed term of 5 years for the Attorney General of India. It is not correct. He is debarred from private legal practice. Not correct. He enjoys the privileges available to the member of parliament. It's correct. C is the correct. So option C is the correct. Okay. Option. Okay. Statement one is not correct. Correct. The term of office of the Attorney General is not fixed by the Constitution. Further, the Constitution does not contain the procedure of grounds for his removal. He holds office during the pleasure of the President. This means that he may be removable by the President at any time. He may also quit his office by submitting his resignation to the President. Conventionally, he resigns when the government council of ministers resigns or is replaced, and as he is appointed on its advice. And Attorney General. So statement 2 is not correct. Attorney General is not a full-time counsel for the government. He does not fall into the category of government servants. Further, he is not debarred from the private legal practice. However, following limitation of the placed on the Attorney General is in order to avoid any complication and conflict of duty. He should not advise or hold a brief against the government of India. She should not advise or hold a brief in cases in which he is called upon advice or appear for the government of India. He should not defend accused persons in criminal prosecution without the permission of the government of India. He should not appoint as a director. He should not accept appointment as a director in any company or coordination without the permission of the government of India. Statement 3 is correct. Statement 3 is the correct. Attorney General has the right to speak and to take part in the proceedings of both houses of the Parliament or the joint sitting and any committee of the Parliament of which he may be named a member, but without a right to vote. He enjoys all the privileges and immunities that are available to a member of the Parliament. So it is correct. 3 is the correct. So thank you.